Hello, this is Ajkal Zoom Zam Se. This is a place where we connect with people who make music. And today I'm going to be speaking to somebody who fronted one of the most exciting bands of the 80s and 90s. They produced some of the biggest Bhangra hits of all time. He has one of the most romantic voices of any singer in the UK. He is the one and only KASH AZAAD. KASH, good evening.
Thank you for that thunderous introduction, Satya. How lovely to see you. Yeah, you're looking really good.
Thank you. And I was just going to comment that, people get old with age. You, KASH, look so young. What's the secret?
I think it must be the lockdown. I mean, you're relaxed, and I've kept the beard, hides the wrinkles. So maybe it's that.
You shouldn't have said that, because that's our secret. We grow a beard when we start getting old to hide the wrinkles.
Absolutely. Yeah.
KASH, let's just rewind to the days when you guys used to come to Radio Derby. We used to interview you, play your songs. And that 2-hour interview used to turn into an 8-hour session.
Yeah. Sati, in life, there are some milestones that I think that you remember. And going to Radio Derby is one of those things that I will never forget. We were teenagers at the time, and the whole scene was brand new. And you guys absolutely supported us 100%. But those were the days. You cannot forget those days. That was the beginning, wasn't it, of everything?
It was the beginning, and I suppose one of the reasons why you guys kind of made such an impact, you gave us an identity. You gave us something which belonged to us and we could identify with and call it our own. You gave the whole Asian community something that belonged to them.
Absolutely. I think, a lot of people came to the UK in the 60s and 70s. And then towards the end of the 70s, we were desperate for this identity. We're listening to some of the artists from India, Gurdas Maan, Manak, Surinder Shinda, and we wanted to create something like that in the UK. Couldn't go to the discos. There was a lot of racism. You think that's racism now? You should have been there at that time. So we had to do something ourselves. And so Parminder, me, Harip, and some of the other guys got together and decided to make music, and that became part of the UK style music, UK Bhangra. And thanks to you guys, you were there to promote that, not for any money, but just for the love of it. There was a bit of fame in there, no money in there, but there was the satisfaction that we got out of producing music and creating that ID, that we have now.
KASH, you had a unique sound in AZAAD. Your tracks, had that rocky feel. It was something that those people who weren't into Punjabi music or into Hindi music could still listen to, enjoy, because they could actually play that in their cars and feel proud of it. How did you get that particular sound, and why did you settle on that sound?
I think the secret ingredient was Clive. Clive was the blonde Gora, he was more Indian than us, but he was a very, very good guitarist, and he influenced the guitar playing especially. And also when we recorded our drum and dole, and after that Kabaddi was influenced by ZZ Top's kind of music. And because Clive could play the guitar and he could do some great pieces on the guitar, we sort of went that way, guitar and drum and dole and dolki. And also, all of us had different backgrounds as well. Harip with his religious background, Parminder with his Manak stuff, and me with my Hindi stuff, and Clive with his guitar stuff, So it's different people in the band. Together we formed AZAAD with that flavor of music.
You produced some of the biggest hits, Jatta Jag, Kabaddi, and a whole range of others. Did you know how successful they were going to be?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. The first album we did was AZAAD Joban, and Charanjit Ahuja, the legend. He lives in Delhi now, a great man. I think when he produced that music, the way he did it, he just made us want to do more. And there were youngsters, who had actually listened to our music and following our culture and being proud of it and becoming more Indians, more Punjabis. listening to our music. So we had a lot of influence. When we felt that, that's when we thought, oh, we got to do more. That's what kept us going.
Kash, I can see a baja. Are you still playing the baja and singing?
I do. I think with Sati, for a singer, you can get as old as you like, but to keep the voice young, you gotta have this. You gotta have this fella here. You gotta have this guy here. So I thought I'd have this just to get a. If you want me to sing anything, I'm more than happy.
We would love to have an exclusive a concert with you. So
okay. I mean, because the program is quite. It's not going to be that long, so I'll just do just a quick beginning of the song. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll start with this. Okay.
नचती जवानी रुत मस्तानी आबी जा दिल भर जानी I hope you like that.
That is fantastic. That's fantastic. Even with Zoom's limitations in terms of sound, that came out really well. Kash, for me, what I really, really enjoyed were some of your sentimental slow numbers. Nobody could do romantic numbers like you did. And Don't Leave It Your Heed is one of my all-time favorites. So I'm not going to let you go until you do me a verse of that today.
Okay, no problem. I've got that ready to go here, actually. So I will do that for you, no problem at all. This was a song that I actually wrote when I was 19 years old. So we're going back a few hundred years now, And it's one of my favorite songs, actually. And it's been a real honor, actually. B21 recorded it. Harshdeep, the legendary singer, as you know, she recorded this as well. And Simon Nandra recorded this in a beautiful way. I think a writer called Happy wrote the lyrics. He didn't use my lyrics, but he wrote lyrics that were very similar to this. So I was very pleased. Most of the songs that I've sung actually are written by me, except some of the Bhangra songs there by Jandu. But most of the slow songs I've actually written myself. So these lyrics are my own ones, my own experiences.
Wow, wow, wow. What can I say? That is just fantastic. Kash, you've still got it. You've still got
Oh,
it.
thank
And I'm
you.
surprised that, you've taken such a back seat in terms of your music. Why is that?
Well, I think, the whole of the band, we've sort of grown up now, sort of thing, some of us are actually grandparents, I think, So you've got other responsibilities, times move on. But we still get together, Sati, we still dream about getting together again. And just before the lockdown, actually, we were planning to get together and do some music. But it's quite difficult as you get older. You got other priorities. Families begin to take over your life. Maybe that's the main reason. But I carry on. I still do a lot of shows. I do a lot of charity shows, weddings and receptions, where I do what I'm doing now, basically. I do quite a few Bollywood stuff as well. I sing for the Bengali community, Gujarati community. They book me quite a lot. So we still do. I still do things.
Kash, you're one singer who I've always believed could easily lend his voice to playback singing for Hindi films, Punjabi films. Have you not ever considered that?
We all dream about that, Sati, Bollywood, Bombay, and playback singing. I think to do something like that, you really have got to be 100% determined. Like Mangal, for example. Mangal, is a great singer. And he went to Bombay and he left everything here, went over there, and he did some great stuff there. And you need to do that. A lot of singers from the UK, went over to Bombay and made it there. I think you've got to really give everything up here and then give it 100% over in Bombay. I don't think I was willing to do that, even Parminder, So maybe that's the main reason. But we dream on.
But the world is getting smaller now, and there is that ecosystem which may kind of start in Mumbai, but it encapsulates us here in the UK and then goes back to India and releases it there. The world has changed. So would you open for it if we kind of, knocked on a few doors and said, look, we've got somebody who's fantastic?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'd love to be part of the bigger picture, because I've actually retired now. I was a teacher, I was an assistant principal for many years, and did some great things with the teaching and everything. But I've retired, and I'm just singing full time now. And every day the badger you there, and you're trying to get your vocals right. The more you learn about music, the less you know. I tell you, right? I cringe when I listen to myself sometimes. But I'm still working on things. So if there's an opportunity, I'll welcome it with open arms.
We've known that you were a teacher, but what I've always wondered is, did your students actually take you seriously as a teacher when they could see you on television and listen to you in the, at home and on the headphones, etc.? Did you have that conflict of interest with your students?
I think sometimes I did, but most of the time, it was actually okay. And I was quite a strict teacher. I was an AST, advanced skills teacher, so I was very, very good at my job. And I think to teach children, you got to win them over. You can't force education down pupils' throats. You got to win them over. And I think I had this knack of winning the students over. So there was time when we would sit down and we would talk about music, even sing a few songs. There was time in the classroom. You've got to concentrate. You've got the exams coming or whatever. And you got to strike a balance. But so it was okay. I did it for 35 years. I did that. 35 years.
Wow. Well, Kash, now that you've retired, we need to get you to focus on what is important, and that is to resume your musical legacy and start recording things, start doing things, and focus on your music almost full time. So can we convince you to do that?
I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Yeah. With your blessing, with your support, you can't go wrong, can you?
Kash, you won't believe this, and I'm not just saying that because I'm speaking to you, but for many, many years, when you were focusing on your career and you'd almost paused your musical career, I always wondered, Kash has to come back. We cannot let that voice just fritter away, and we've got to bring it back. So I'm so glad now that you're in the second part of your life that you want to resume your musical career?
Got plenty of time now, we you know, we've got our own studio. Harbans, my brother, he does a lot of production, so we are constantly in and out of the studio. So I'm sure we'll come up with something that people will like.
Kash, it's been great speaking to you. Thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to us. And I'm so excited that you want to resume your musical career. And I'm looking forward to, you know, what you've got to offer us over the next few years. So before we leave, can you take us out with a song?
Here we go then. This is one of my favorites.
I had to mention Jandu Litrawala in this, great writer. Thank you.